Hey everyone, I hope you all are safe and doing good. So in the series of learning C++ programming language, we are discussing functions in C++. In previous video, we have seen what are default arguments, right? How to pass default arguments in functions. So the next topic is function overloading. This is also an important feature of functions, right? Basically, we have four OOPs concept or four OOPs pillars, we can say. Abstraction, classes, and objects, encapsulation, and polymorphism. That we'll see in detail in later videos, right? So this overloading is a part of polymorphism, right? We'll discuss in brief what are function overloading, how to use, how to achieve function overloading with help of program, right? But polymorphism we'll see in later videos when we're discussing OOPs concept, right? So now, see, in this video we'll see what are basically why function overloading, need of function overloading. This thing is important. If you are studying any concept, then what is need of that concept, that feature, right? That is important. So this thing we'll see in this video, right? Now see, you know what are function, how to declare function, how to define, how to call function. Basics are clear to you guys, right? See, if I write something like this. So now you can differentiate, like this is function prototype or function declaration. This is function calling and this is function definition, right? Now, if in your program you have two or more function with same name, like in my program I have display, one more function I have display, right? Name is same, but parameters you are passing, those are different. Maybe the data type of parameter is different, or maybe number of parameters are different, right? That thing is known as function overloading. Right, see, let me show you. If in my program I have one more function display and here I have like string. So in my program I have two functions with same name display, but parameters are different. Here I am passing int, here I am passing string. So obviously definition would be different. Here void display string str and this out I'll display str. Right, and whenever you call that display, maybe you will pass like Jenny. So while calling this, I'll pass Jenny, a string. This is a C style string. This is also fine. This is expecting a C++ string, like the string object. But you are passing C style string, a string literal, that is also fine. It will be converted to C++ style string, or a string object also you can pass. Right, and same, the definition is also something different from this, like string variable name is str and I'm just printing here cout str, right? So in one program, in the same scope, or in one program I have two functions with same name but parameters are different. So this is function overloading. So why you need function overloading? See, sometimes if you want to display or if you want to print integer value, suppose 2, I also want to print Jenny, then I want to print like maybe a 10.2, a double value or a character value also sometimes, right? So rather than taking different function name, like for printing integer, I will take maybe print int and here the function, the argument, then print double, then print string, print character. So you have to take four different names, right? And you have to remember like these four different names and all. So rather than this, using function overloading, we can take only single name, that is print only, right? And if you want to print integer, you just pass here int. If you want to print string, you just pass here string. If you want to print double, you just pass double as an argument, and that's it, right? So function name is same, but we will define here for these four things, four different functions, right? But function name would be same. Only the difference is in the type of the argument or the type of the parameter you take. For this we will take int, for this we will take string here, for this we will take double here, for this we will take here character, right? So this is like the program would be more readable rather than having four different names. Just take one simple same name. So program would be more readable and maintainable. and it will increase the reusability of the program as well, right? That is why we use function overloading. So you don't have to, rather than you don't have to remember, or the user, you don't have to remember the exact name for the functions, because name is same, only the argument you pass, that is different. And the compiler will automatically call the best match. I mean, at compile time, the compiler chooses which function overloads to call based on the type and the number of argument you pass, right? That is headache of compiler, that will choose, right? Out of, suppose here we have display, so if I call this display 2, so the compiler chooses which function to call, this int, based on the type of parameter. If this is the function calling, so at this time compiler will choose which function to call, this function, based on the argument, the type of argument you pass, that is string, so it will call this, not this, right? You don't have to remember the exact name. Maybe here you have to take like display int, display string. So rather than remembering different name, you just have to remember only one name, same name display. That is, you can say, advantage of using function overloading, right? Now the function overloading we can achieve in 3 forms: based on the number of parameters you passed, based on the type of parameter you passed, and based on the order of the parameters you passed, right? Remember this, if you write something like this, right? If I like here int fun and void fun, maybe you think this is function overloading because return type of the function is different. No, we cannot achieve function overloading based on the function return time. This will give error. Only you can achieve, only you can differentiate the function, only you can achieve the function overloading based on the parameter list, either the number of parameter or the type of parameter or the order of parameter, sequence of parameter, not with the return type of the function. This you have to remember, this is not function overloading, this will give error, right? So now let me show you all these things, how to achieve function overloading with the help of program. So first we will see overloading using different type of parameters, right? Okay, now let's take 2 function void. Suppose we have function display and one I'm taking same name display with the string data type, right? So if you are using string, better to include that header string. Okay, one is display, okay, here int and string. The name of the parameter is optional, you can pass because this is just function declaration. And after main, suppose I am defining this function display for int, so int a, here in definition name of the variable is compulsory, so int a I am taking and just passing, just printing here whatever the value, right? That's it. And for the second display I'll take string, maybe str, and here just display that whatever string you pass. So while calling, let's call this display, I'll call this display, and in second one I will just pass Jenny. Okay, so we are having here 2 functions with same name, but differentials the type of parameter you pass. In one I'm passing int, in second I'm passing string. So whenever the control will go to main function, the first is display 3. So based on the type of the parameter, the compiler chooses which function to call, this function, because here the type is, the argument you are passing is integer, so int a, this function would be called. Let's run this and I'll show you what output you will get here. See, printing int value, let me just clear the previous output, and printing integer value 3, printing string value Jenny, right? So this is how we can achieve overloading based on the different type of parameter. Now number of parameter, you can achieve function overloading using different the different number of parameters. So let's take one more thing here. Suppose we are taking one more example. Here I am taking function add, and in one I am passing 3 parameter, and second I am passing 2 and 3. See, the parameter type is same, data type int, but number of parameters are different. So this is how also we can achieve function overloading, right? Based on different number of parameters. Type is same, doesn't matter. Numbers are different, right? So here I'll just pass 2 and 3, only 2, and for second I'll pass 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this is just declaration of the function. Let's define these functions. Okay, see now, whenever you call this add 2, 3, so the compiler will call this one. The number of parameters are 2, so this function would be called, right? Whenever you write this add 2, 3, 4, then at this time compiler chooses to call this function ABC with 3 parameters. So let's run this and see what output you will get here. 5 and 9. Yeah, this is also function overloading, right? Plus you can achieve overloading with different sequence of parameters. So if I take here like int, one more add, and there I'm taking int, and one is double. This is also function overloading, right? So if I call here add, suppose first I'm passing 3, then 10.4. This will not give any error. Sorry, point. It's 10.4, right? And suppose one more definition, void add, let's run this and I'll show you what output you will get here. See 3 output, 13.4 as well, right? And if I take here void add, first is double, second is int. Let's comment out previous two. So here int double, and here number of parameter, type of parameter, both are same, but sequence is different. In first one I am passing int, and after that double, but in second I am passing first double, then int. So this is also function overloading, right? This will also work fine. So let's just comment out these two function definition, and just call add. Now first is 34.5 and second is 1. Right? If you do not define the second function, I just define one, int a, and this also, this one only, right? Not this. So let's run this and I'll show you what output you will get. See, 13.4 and 35. Why so? Because why calling this? It's okay, we are calling like this function int a and double, so a plus b it will do 13.4. In second case, first was we are passing double value, and here it is expecting an int value, so it's okay, it will do automatically type conversion, the truncation of its 0.5. So it will take only 34. 34 would be assigned to this int, and it double 1 would be assigned, so it will give 35, right? So if exact match doesn't found, the compiler is not able to find the exact match, so it will find the best possible match. Type conversion would be done, right? According to that, the best possible match would be found. The best possible match is this one only, because double would be truncated to int, right? But if I have here the exact match, double and int, let's define this second one also. So this is the exact match. So in this case, it will give 35, like 35.5. So it is finding exact match. So this function would be called, right? Okay. Now order of sequence of this parameter can also be used for overloading. So some rules are to achieve function overloading. First one, the function name should be same, or I can say must be same function name. Second thing, the type of parameters must be different, or number of parameters must be different, or sequence of parameters must be different, right? Otherwise it will give error. Or let me just show you one more example here. See, here I have void print, int print. See, function name is same, return type is different, right? So here void print, I'm just printing hi. In int print, I'm just returning a, right? I'm just calling print here, and for this int, because it is returning integer value, so I will accept that value in a variable of type integer, that is x, print this and see out x, right? But it will give error. See the red line, cannot overload functions distinguished by return type alone, right? Here only the difference is return type is different, everything is same, but this is how you cannot achieve function overloading, right? At least the parameters should be, maybe the number of parameters should be different, type of parameters should be different, or the order of parameters should be different. Then you can achieve function overloading, right? So function return type is not, the single factor with that you can achieve function overloading. This you need to remember, right? Now, third thing, we have discussed all the three ways to achieve function overloading, but here you can have some ambiguities while doing this, while achieving function overloading. Now, some causes of that ambiguities are maybe the type conversion, maybe you are using function with default argument, maybe you are using function with pass by reference. Three reason can be there for that ambiguity you get, right? So let me just tell you this thing with example. First, if you have, because of type conversion, you can get function ambiguity. Let me just show you this thing with example. See, here I have one example. There I have function print. In this, I'm passing int. In void print, I'm passing float. In print, I'm passing string. 3 print I have, right? And this is the definition. For integer, I'm just printing a. For string, the string value, whatever you pass. For float, whatever float value you pass, that would be printed. So while calling, I'm just passing first print 10. So ideally, according to us, it should call, like 10 is integer value, so this int. So it will print integer value a. 10.2, this is float value, so it should call this float. So printing double value d, and it should print 10.2, right? And third, if I call like print and Jenny, or rather than C style string, if I take here one string object str is equal to Jenny, and that object, sorry, not ATR also you can use, but let's take a meaningful name str, and here just pass print str, an object, string object, C++ string object, right? So it should call this and it should print str Jenny, but it will give an error to you guys. Let me show you that error. Okay, this is not the exact error. This is the error. Call of overloaded print double is ambiguous. Here 10.2, because in C++ all the floating point number are treated as double, right? Not float, double by default, right? So there is type conversion from float to double, so it is considering like 10.2 is not float, it's double, right? So the exact match the compiler wants to call. So but there is no double here, int, float, string. We are passing float here, int here, string here, not double. So there is no exact match found. So compiler will call now the best possible match, right? So now this double can be treated as a float as well as truncated and treated as int, right? So that is why this error you are getting. This call print double in line number 15 is ambiguous, right? It can call this print also, it can call this print float also. So a compiler doesn't know which one to call, either this or this. So that is why it is giving ambiguous. See, while you are dragging your mouse to here, then more than one instance of overload function print matches the argument list. This also and this also, int a and float d. But if you write here rather than float double, So this is the exact match here rather than float, double. This will not give any error. 10.2 is considered as double by default in C++. Yeah, we have this apprend function with a double parameter. So it will exactly match. It is going to find and it will just print 10.2. Integer value 10, 10.2, string value Jenny. So while using function overloading, you need to be very careful of these implicitly type conversion type of thing, right? Otherwise you will get error. This is a drawback of using function overloading. You have to be very careful. Second is if you are using function with default arguments. Let me show you that example also. See, one example we have here, we have two function add and add. In one I'm passing int 2 parameter, I'll pass 2 argument, and in second I have int 3 parameter, but one is default. I'm taking one default. If you will not pass anything, then third argument it will take 0. So here I'm passing default argument, but in this case it will give error. See, while calling this add 2 3, let me just comment out these things. 2 and 3. Here you see red line. More than one instance of overloaded function add matches the argument list. This one is also matches. This one is also matches. Now which one to call? Function is the compiler doesn't know. Is not able to decide which one to call. Let me just run this and show you. See, the call of overloaded function add int is ambiguous, right? Because you are passing only 2 arguments. So this is matching with this also int ab and with this also. Because in this case also you are passing only 2 arguments you will pass. So by default the third argument it will take 0. So third argument here it will take 0, right? So this is also ambiguity type of thing, right? So while using default arguments also you have to be very careful. You can get this type of ambiguity error. You got this, right? Third thing, if you use function with pass by reference, in that case also you can get ambiguity error. Let me show you that thing also. See, here we have two function. One is func, there will pass int, and another is fun, they will passing like int and ampersand. Pass by reference, we have discussed call by variable, call by reference, right? Call by reference we can achieve by 2 ways, like either using reference variable or using pointers. Here we are using reference variable, right? Please watch out that video first if you are not aware about what is call by reference, call by value, and what is reference variable. So in int main, so we have defined these two functions. Fun, there we will passing just int a, integer value, I'm just printing a, and here reference variable you are creating int ampersand b, and just we are calling b, right? And while calling we have int x is equal to 6, and we are just calling, we are passing x here. So like 6 we are passing. So in this case also it is giving an error, like more than one instance of overloaded function fun matches the argument list. This is also matching, this is also matching. So which function to call? Let me just run this and show you the output. Call of overloaded add int. Okay, let me just save this first and now run this. See, call of overloaded fun int, this ampersand operator is ambiguous. Now compiler doesn't know which function to call because there is no syntactical difference between this fun int a and fun int ampersand b. This is just reference variable. Reference variable means it's just an alias of the variable, like whatever you will pass here, x, just another name, right? So this x, this is also matching, this is also matching. In reference variable when you use, then you simply pass here a variable, not any address of variable or anything, right? So in this case also you are getting ambiguity error. 3 reasons of getting ambiguity error while you are doing function overloading. This thing you need to take care while you are doing function overloading in your program, right? So yeah, we can say is this function overloading is a powerful feature in programming. This will increase the readability of the code because you use with only single function name you can achieve different tasks. You can do different tasks based on the different parameters only, right? The function name is same, so it increases the flexibility and reusability of your code, right? But obviously disadvantages are what you have to be more careful because there would be ambiguity error also. So this thing you need to remember here, right? And compiler dependency also. When you port your program from one compiler to another, there maybe you can get some, because of some rules, you get unpredictable results while you are achieving or doing function overloading in your program. And debugging is also sometimes difficult because sometimes the error doesn't show exactly which function overload is causing that error. So this is all about function overloading. I hope you got this, right? So in the next video, we'll see some coding exercise based on functions and function overloading, right? So now I'll see you in the next tutorial, and bye. Take care.